Hello ladies and gents, I'm Michael McGorry and welcome to Movies and Milk, the 1 millionth YouTube channel to discuss movies. But today, we don't have the milk, for tonight is a celebration, hence why I'm all suited and booted. And why is this? It's because the Oscars takes place this Sunday or Monday morning if you're Scottish like me. God help me staying up for that. So instead of having milk, I have got Heineken with me. I'm not sponsored by Heineken. If Heineken wish to sponsor me, however, I'm more than happy for that because Heineken, I love your beer. And everyone who knows me was probably expecting that to be some sort of joke. That's going to overflow. So yes, the Oscars. I'm going to be doing a similar thing to what I done last year, and I'm going to rank all the Best Picture nominations from worst to best, because this year marks the second year in which I've seen all the Best Picture nominees. I know. I'm a virgin. I've decided to combine both my personal opinion and the opinion of the Oscars themselves. I've kind of ranked them in terms of what I think will be least likely to win the Best Picture to the film that I think is most likely to win the Best Picture. Somebody's going to be angry with how I've ranked them, but just remember, these are all movies, none of them are documentaries, they are all a work of fiction. There are much greater things on the planet to be worried about, like my health and well-being, because I'm probably going to die of hypothermia after making this video. So, without any further ado, let's get ranking. With an R. Not the other word that you're thinking, that's illegal to be doing in the outdoors.
Have a great day. Heil Hitler. You're going to be the best. Heil Hitler. You can do it.
The first half of Jojo Rabbit is alright, it's cute. It's a cute little dark comedy, but about midway through I was like, where is this going? There's only so many times I can laugh at how buffoonish the Nazis were. But like a vast majority of films, Jojo Rabbit has a second half, and that second half is fucking excellent. It reminded me of one of Taika Waititi's previous films, Hunt for the Wilder People, in that it was a mesh of both dark and light-hearted comedy mixed in with some actual real-life stakes. And I loved it. It's probably the Best Picture nomination that I'm going to be revisiting the most in the coming years. But it's all the way down at the bottom of the list because, quite frankly, I don't think it has a chance of winning the Best Picture Oscar.
You bring me out. Can you introduce me as Joker?
Now, everyone and their mothers love Joker. I love Joker. Everybody loves Joker. It got $1 billion at the box office for a reason. But to me, the quality of the film is completely dependent on Joaquin Phoenix's performance. He deserves all the awards that he is currently getting, even though he's kind of getting sick and tired of receiving those awards. But yes, besides him and the soundtrack, this film could have been a forgettable crime Martin Scorsese wannabe shit piece. But thankfully, Joaquin Phoenix, like I said, was absolutely masterful in the role. And Todd Phillips, I like you, I like most of your work, but you do not deserve the nomination for Best Director. There were other films this year that definitely deserve that nomination more than this. But hey ho, you've probably seen it, so why am I continuing to talk about it? If you haven't seen Joker, what are you doing? Everyone else has seen it, it's the talk of the town. Get on that. Now on to your dad's favourite Best Picture nominee. Ford v Ferrari, or Le Mans 66 as it's called in my home country, is fine. It is definitely the most Oscar-baity movie of the nominations. But did I love the film? Yes, even though I'm not a fan of motorsports, Christian Bale's performance and the editing were absolutely masterful. Unlike Joker, however, Christian Bale isn't in the film for 99.9% of it, he's probably in it for about 75%, and whenever he is not on screen, my interest for the film just sort of plummeted right down. But whenever he was on screen, I was joyous, I was excited, oh, Christian Bale, you're some man.
But I'm so lonely.
From your dad's favourite Best Picture nominee to your mum's favourite. Little Women was great, and I do think Timothée Chalamet was robbed for not getting the nomination for Best Supporting Actor. I mean, what the fuck was that? He had one of the best scenes of the entire movie. Oscars, you got it right with the Best Picture nominations, but Jesus Christ. However, I didn't like the fact that all the actresses were playing two different versions of themselves. For those that haven't seen the movie, basically it's set in two different time periods, and the actresses play themselves as both young adults and teenagers. Which, for me, for the most part, was fine. But when Florence Pugh was in that classroom filled with other 12-year-olds, actual 12-year-olds, while she herself was pretending to be a 12-year-old, it just seemed very strange. It seemed almost Lynchian. But yeah, no, I loved Little Women, and like I said, your mum probably loved it as well. But that's not the only thing she loved. I'm talking about my car.
Run away from a knife, so you charge with a gun, with a knife you run.
Talking about the act of lovemaking, you could probably make love about 15 times during the course of The Irishman. Or, in my case, 209 times. Now, many people have commented on the length of this film, so that's where I'm drawing the line. I'm going to stop talking about the length and instead talk about the acting. Because while I think Timothée Chalamet was robbed for Best Supporting Actor, Joe Pesci definitely deserves it. If he wins, I will be over the moon. As for everything else, well, it's a Martin Scorsese film, so of course it was just absolutely excellent. The only thing that I didn't really like about it was the de-aging of the actors. I mean, for the most part, it is impressive how they were able to do it. But there's a point in the film where a young Robert De Niro is kicking a guy's head against the curb, and he definitely moves like an old man. But besides that and the long length, I absolutely adored The Irishman, and it's on Netflix. So if you haven't watched it already, get it watched. Oh boy, Parasite! Parasite to me is my favourite film out of all these nominations. So that probably begs the question, why the fuck it only got to 4th place and isn't in the top 3? Well, it's simple. It's foreign. And like Kermit the Frog said in Muppets Most Wanted, I don't think Americans watch subtitled films. However, if you're willing to give the subtitles a chance, you are in for a roller coaster. One of my favourite films of all time is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I know it has absolutely nothing to do with Parasite. However, one thing that Who Framed Roger Rabbit does very well is combine a bunch of different genres together. It pretty much tackles every genre. And for me, Parasite was one musical number and one animated sequence away from doing the same. It's a comedy, it's a romance, it's an action film, it's a slasher film, it's a disaster movie, it's a crime film, it's a Hitchcockian thriller, it's just got a bit of everything. And the acting in this, the acting was a thing that I was a bit unsure of going in, because when it comes to foreign acting, there seems to be a bit of loss in translation for me. Because I don't speak the language, I don't know if they're saying the dialogue convincingly enough. But with this film, I could just tell that all the actors were giving it their all. The soundtrack is literal music to my ears, the direction is masterclass. And Bong Joon-ho, I'm sorry, I think he might be the next Albert Einstein. Because he's so smart. I don't know anything about Einstein besides the fact that he is smart, but he also done the E equals MC squared. Anyway, if you haven't watched Parasite, go watch it.
Is that our friends again? Looks like it.
I saw this film in IMAX twice and it absolutely blew me away. I don't think I need to talk about the fact that it looks like one shot. I think everyone knows that by this point. But Jesus Christ, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't see this film in cinema. And it is so easy for a film like this to just have absolute shit dialogue and terrible characters, but thankfully, you care about the characters in this film, and you want to see them make it to the end. My only issue with the film is that there are a few big name stars, and whenever they appeared, I was kind of taken out of it. I mean, I thought Andrew Scott and Richard Madden were very well utilised, but the likes of Colin Firth, Benedict Cumberbatch and Mark Strong, it just kind of took me out of the film a bit. Also, this is the one Best Picture nomination that I've seen twice, and it doesn't really hold up as much the second time. But again, the film is out in cinemas, go see it now, don't wait for it to come out on Netflix, don't be stupid. This is it, boys. We've made it. The final two. Which one of these films do I think is gonna win the Best Picture? Well, quite frankly, I have no idea. I think the award could easily go to either one of these films, so it's just gonna be a coin flip on the night as to what one I think will win. But as of right now, I've got a feeling it's gonna play out like this.
I'm the devil, and
I'm here to do the devil's business.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the only Best Picture nomination that I didn't come out just absolutely raving about as soon as the credits had started. I mean, I thought that the acting was good, the dialogue is obviously excellent, it's Quentin Tarantino, he's the best at writing dialogue. But to me, there were points in the film that I just didn't find nearly as interesting as others. However, I will say that the final act of this film is absolutely stupendous. It's just a shame that the 2 hours preceding that point were just sort of hit or miss for me. I mean, I love Leonardo DiCaprio's subplot. Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate just sort of seemed a bit out of place for me. I didn't understand why she was there for the most part up until the end. I mean, for most of the film all she does is go to a theatre and watch a film starring herself, of course, with her dirty, bare feet up on the seat in front of her. Quentin, we know you like feet. You're just gonna... Just stop. Someone is using the toilet. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's water going through the pipes. And as for Brad Pitt's storyline, it just sort of encapsulated what I thought of the film as a whole. It was just very hit or miss. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was one of the first nominations to be released, and I haven't had a chance to re-watch it for this video. However, a part of me is very interested to revisit it because I have heard that it gets better with multiple watches. So why do I think this one has a chance of winning the Oscar? Well, it's set in classic Hollywood. The Oscars are going to eat that shit up. This is it. The #1 film of the list. I wonder what it could be. Drum roll, please. I mean, if you know the Best Picture nominations, then you could probably hazard a guess as to what's at #1, but we'll keep the tension building a bit longer, make it a bit more exciting. It's not as if I'm freezing my balls off out here. I mean, it's 6:15.
I hope you get an illness and then get hit by a car and die.
Marriage Story. Now, unlike most people, I don't absolutely love Marriage Story. I mean, I think it is very, 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 very good. But I just simply can't relate to it because I've never been in a relationship. And don't start to feel sympathy for me, okay? It was through my own choice.
I'm so lonely.
So whilst this film didn't strike a chord with me like it did other folk, I can definitely see why people just flat out adore this film. I mean, the direction's great and the writing is phenomenal, but Jesus Christ, the performances. Scarlett Johansson, I think, might have Best Actress in the bag, and whilst I do think Adam Driver deserves the Oscar, I mean, he might be driving towards that Academy Award, but I don't think he's going to catch up to Phoenix, who's walking towards it. Right, okay. Right, it was a good joke, alright? Okay, you see where I was getting with, like, fuck you all. But yes, just like The Irishman, Marriage Story is on Netflix, and I do wholeheartedly recommend that you seek out and watch it. I say seek out as if it's difficult to find. You have Netflix, don't kid yourself. The nominations this year were very difficult to rank. So unlike last year, I think I would be perfectly happy for any of these films winning. And if you wish to see my live reaction to the Oscars, then please be sure to follow Movies and Milk over on Instagram. Please feel free to leave your ranking in the comment section down below, and again, do not get angry with my ranking. I'm probably not going to agree with it by the time that this video comes out, and until next time, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to give your bones and teeth a little bit of love by drinking milk. I mean, I've not been drinking milk this entire video, but, you see, I'm working on an outro, and, oh wait, I'll see you later. Now, you're probably wondering why I decided to film this video outside. Quite frankly, I don't know. I thought it was a bit more unique to the other movie-related YouTube channels out there. I mean, how many times have you seen movie critics sit in front of a green screen or their bedroom? I mean, go outside. Come on, it's fucking freezing.